You gotta love the company I work for. Here we are, we're doing our last regular season Bengals video, if you will. I am on vacation, Meat is working, yet here I am doing a video, and there's no Meat. Doing this by myself, as we get set for the Bengals and the Ravens, the regular season finale, largely meaningless for the Bengals at least, regular season finale at Paul Brown Stadium. I think all of us still giddy about what happened in Pittsburgh on Sunday. A landmark win. I would put it in the top 3 most meaningful wins as a Bengals fan in my lifetime. I went over that list last week. Go back to the blog from last Friday to find out where this one fits in. So anyway, that win was great, and now we can start to look ahead to the postseason. As we do, I'm not going to do what we did at the end of the baseball season. Remember late September when we had a lot of time to kill before the Reds went to the playoffs, and we had to spend all this time debating who would you rather the Reds play? My answer to that, Chicago Cubs, because the Chicago Cubs sucked. Unfortunately for the Reds, the Chicago Cubs didn't qualify for the baseball postseason. Unfortunately for the Bengals, neither do the Kansas City Chiefs or the Cleveland Browns, because those are the 2 teams I would like to play in the opening round of the AFC playoffs. Regardless of who the Bengals get, they're going to have to go on the road, and they're going to play a quality football team. I don't want to have to go to Denver and try to stop Peyton Manning and score on that defense. I don't want to have to go to Houston, remembering what the Bengals went through last season, and have to beat maybe the most balanced team in the NFL. You certainly don't love the prospect of facing Tom Brady in Foxborough. And as bad as the Ravens have been recently, they were really good against the New York Giants on Sunday. It's still a Ravens team that hammered the Bengals. It could be getting Ray Lewis back. That's going to be a tough matchup, and the Ravens usually really good at home. So I don't want to play any of these teams, but if the other option is Bengals don't make the postseason, I'll take my chances on the road against any one of these 4 other teams. Now, I think of the Bengals in the postseason in recent years when they've made it, they've never gone in with much momentum. 0-5. Marvin Lewis shelves a bunch of starters early. Bengals get whacked by the Chiefs. A week later, lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We remember 3 years ago when the Bengals on national television on Sunday night against the Jets were absolutely destroyed. What happened 7 days later, actually 6 days later, Bengals beaten by the Jets, again, this time at Paul Brown Stadium. And last year, the Bengals lost the regular season finale. Obviously, that game held a lot more meaning than the previous 2 games heading into the postseason, but still the Bengals lost. I don't know how much momentum matters. I really have no idea, but I know we've tried it the other way, where the Bengals lose and then lose in the postseason. So how about this go-around? The Bengals win the regular season finale, win as one of the hottest teams in the NFL in the second half, 7 out of 8 if they beat Baltimore, and then go into the postseason with a full head of steam wherever they go. There are some caveats here. If Andy Dalton's getting the crap kicked out of him, we shelve him. If it's just not clicking on either side of the football, if guys are falling by the wayside, we pull our starters. I say we, I'm not coaching the team, thank God. And we put the scrubs in and go ahead and look ahead to the postseason. But I think it's kind of cool, and I know it doesn't mean all that much in the grand scheme of things. A 10-win season with this bunch would be pretty cool, and I think a 10-win season would mark, at least from a regular season standpoint, a major step forward. This team does not have a chance to win the AFC North title, but you can't tell me that finishing with 10 wins ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers and going into the playoffs with some momentum wouldn't be extraordinarily meaningful. I want the feel-good vibe to last for another week, because I know if this team loses in the first round of the playoffs, it's going to be overreaction in the next 48 to 72 hours. We're going to have to fire people, and many are going to forget what this season has been all about. I don't want to start that process early. So I think the Bengals are going to play well on Sunday. I've watched the Ravens a lot here in the second half of the season, and they clearly haven't been all that good. But John Harbaugh's a really good coach, and although they haven't been able to break through and get to the postseason, it's not like the Ravens have represented themselves poorly in the playoffs. I think we're going to get a really game effort from Baltimore. I think we're going to get a really game effort from the Bengals. Right now, it's really hard to pick against the good guys, and so I'm going to pick the exact same score I did last week. Remember last week when I predicted the Bengals win against the Steelers and he told me I was nuts? I said 20-17 good guys. I'm going to say 20-17 good guys this week. Marvin Lewis gets a 10-win season. Andy Dalton gets a 10-win season. And this team will have won 7 out of 8 in the second half of the season before they go to the playoffs and play whomever. Whomever that is, I don't care. I'm happy that the Bengals are actually going to be playing somebody in the postseason. Hope everybody has a happy new year. We're back on the air on Monday on ESPN 1530. A big week of playoff talk ahead. Have a great week. weekend, and Who Dey.